All right, welcome to episode number 6 of Road to 100K per month. And I don't really have a specific topic to talk about for this video. It's been a little while since I made the last video because genuinely I've just been working. And yeah, I think it's one of those things, man, where it just takes a lot more work than you think it does, right? Um, and not just a lot more work, a lot more um, mindset shifts, I'll say it like that, than you think it does, and a lot more iterations than you think it does. So just in reality, it just takes longer than you think it does, right? But to be honest, I wasn't really surprised by that. I'm not panicking, like, oh my god, why am I not there yet? And I'm not really panicking that way at all, to be honest. Everything is kind of happening exactly how it's supposed to happen. Of course, could things go faster? Sure, they could, but that's just because there's specific things that are important or specific bottlenecks that you have that you're just not aware of. Um, that I'm aware of now that I can fix, right? But yeah, if I'm thinking like, man, what would be the main thing that maybe one of the main shifts that I've made in the last couple of weeks, because I just want to give you guys or whoever's watching something valuable that you can take from this. Um, Honestly, man, I think it's mostly about two things, right? It's about people, right? Which I've talked about before, like the value of people, and not just the value of people, but also the other side of the coin, right? It's the flaws of people, because people are people, right? People are not robots. People are not systems. People are people, right? People are extremely valuable and they can, like we as humans, if you just look at, the world, we can do so much. It's absolutely insane. But also there's the other side of the coin where, people can resort to absolute like you shit, right? Like think about a homeless person on the street kind of like rotting away, and not that there's anything bad about them as a human being, but it's just kind of the state to which a human can sink to, if that makes sense, right? And I'm looking at this mostly from like a productivity standpoint, right? Because this is the main thing. The main thing is just about performance, right? Because it's not just because you perform that everyone else on your team performs at the same level as you. And it's kind of up to you to make sure that everyone performs that at the best rate as they could, right? So for example, if you're a business owner, if you're a freelancer, if you're an agency, whatever, or if you're a creator, and you hire someone, you hire an editor to edit videos for you, right? And you're just like kind of like, oh yeah, just edit, right? And you don't really follow up on anything else, or you just edit, right? And like just get it done, right? What you'll notice is that shit doesn't really work like that, right? Obviously, it depends on how much you pay them, right? If you pay someone that's extremely experienced, extremely professional, they have a track record, et cetera, then perhaps you can genuinely just pay them and they'll get it done, right? But it's expensive. If you are more going for like cheap labor, which to be honest, in the beginning of like an entrepreneurial journey, you just cannot spend top dollar for people to help you, right? It's just the real world. Like you cannot, unless you like come into a venture with prior capital or with lent capital, um, although nuances, but unless you already have the money, you cannot like, get A level people to help you. You need to hire cheap labor in a sense, and you need to learn how to deal with that, right? But yeah, anyway, not to deviate too much from the main point, is that people are extremely valuable, but they can also become a bottleneck, and it's up to you to kind of show the example and to keep everyone accountable, and to keep everyone to a high standard, right? That's one thing. And the second thing, it kind of I kind of lost the second point. I apologize. Let me actually pause the video real quick so I can remember. Right. Um, the second thing that I wanted to talk about was kind of dealing with reality. I think sometimes um, us as humans, we know that stuff is fucked up, or that stuff is not correct, or that we're not doing a great job, or um, yeah, whatever it is, and we kind of choose to ignore it, right? I actually like brought up this example to my friend and business partner, and I told him, like, it's kind of like in those episodes of like Kitchen Nightmares of Gordon Ramsay, because me and my fiance, we watch Gordon Ramsay a lot. And to be honest, I admire Gordon Ramsay as an entrepreneur and a marketer and a TV personality. Like, dude's absolute genius. If you actually look at what he does, like, he's genius. But anyway, when he does these Kitchen Nightmare episodes, right, and he basically like goes to a nightmare restaurant and he turns it into a success, basically, right? Gives it like a makeover in like only a couple days. But typically what happens is that these restaurants, they just got lazy, they got complacent, everything is gonna like go into shit, and they're not coming to terms with reality. So everything is like super shit, and they choose to ignore it, right? um, so what happens when Gordon Ramsay comes in and he's just pointing out all the flaws, all the dirt, right? He goes into the kitchen, he goes into the basement, actually looking at where the food is stored, and he's always horrified about what he finds, right? He'll find shit that's moldy, like just dirty, rats, like crazy stuff, right? Shit that's been there for years that it should have been thrown out like a long time ago. And this is kind of like the reality check, right? And I feel like we've had the same thing where we, for a long time, we chose to turn a blind eye to some of the problems that we knew were problems, but we kind of like didn't want to deal with it. And now that we're actually looking into literally everything, like everything, we're on point with everything, and we came to the conclusion like, oh shit, now we know what our actual problem is, right? Because we never knew what our actual problem was until now. Because right now we're actually like facing the truth. For an example, just to give you a tangible example, sales calls, right? If you have a closer, I mean, to be honest with you, if you're a creator, then well, maybe you do, maybe, or a DM setter or a closer, and you just tell them like, hey, close, hey, set appointments, whatever, but you being a lazy creator or lazy leader, you do not actually double check if they're doing a good job. You don't actually double check the DM conversations. You don't actually check the call recordings if you even have any, right? So you don't even know what's going on. You don't even know what the problem is. But once you start checking those things, once you start checking the DM conversations, what the DM setters are actually saying in the DMs, what the closers are actually saying in the calls, then you're gonna learn like, oh shit, okay, this is the problem. And it's not even always the closer or the DM setter. Sometimes you'll have to accept that the problem is you, right? Sometimes you'll have to accept, oh shit, the content that I'm creating is bringing us the wrong leads or stuff like this, right? Um, that's one of the realizations that we've had. But this is not an easy thing to deal with, right? And it takes a lot of humility in a way to accept that and kind of like want to deal with the problem. Because I've noticed like a lot of the things that we've done is we've always tried to solve like these superficial problems. Like, think about pricing, think about design, think about, oh, new copywriting, a bunch of things that doesn't matter at all if the fundamentals are not in place, right? Which is your positioning, your marketing, your messaging, all that kind of whatever comes below the copy, the design, the content, right? Everything that goes below that, that's what you need to have on point first. And but we didn't want to look at that. Um, so yeah, right now those are the things that we're dealing with, right? And in a way, like, because we're in a dip, right? We're in a dip, still far away from the goal. But to be honest, I feel like I've never been closer. It sounds so weird to say that. And maybe people will look at this and be like, "Bro, you coping hard, man." And I mean, maybe that's true, right? We'll see in a couple of months. But truly, I feel like, bro, we're like, it's like literally like in I can grab it with my hand. That's how close it is. It's just that we have to deal with these problems, right? We have to deal with the truth. We have to deal with the actual bottlenecks that we've not been wanting to deal with for a long time. Um, but once you actually know what the problem is, and to be honest with you, probably the problem is you, or if I look at myself, the problem is me, right? You actually have to accept that, deal with it. But if you solve it, right, that's kind of where all the magic happens, right? So yeah, that's what I'm dealing with right now. Those are, I think, some things that you can take from this video to apply to your own life, that may have value. But yeah, these are the things that are happening right now. And I don't think that I'm going to be making like videos all the time, because I can only share with you after I've been doing stuff, right? So for example, right now I've been doing so much stuff, and I've been going through so many iterations, problem solutions, that I can actually give you something of value. But if I like film another video tomorrow, be like, yo, yeah, same thing, nothing changes. Hey, like, you know, be careful with your people. I'll just say all the same shit, you know. So that's why I don't make a video every day or every week. It kind of depends. Sometimes more stuff may be happening, so I'll film more videos. But at the moment, it's just been work, 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 work. To be honest, I always work. It's nothing really um, different. But I've just been didn't feel like sharing, because I would just be saying the same stuff, right? So yeah, that's kind of what it is. But anyway, hope this was valuable. If you like these kinds of videos, make sure to like and subscribe, because otherwise, like, they're not gonna show for you. Um, I'm gonna keep making them anyway, because I'm not really making them for likes or views anyway. But yeah, I hope this has value. If you're in a similar position, or if there is a question you have, drop a comment. We'd be happy to reply. And that's it. All right. Let's see what happens in the next couple of weeks. Right. Peace.